Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk Collision. We are back in Daly's place, which is in Jacksonville, and it's an outdoor venue, meaning that people were cold. I don't know exactly what the temperature was, but people are bundled up with their jackets and their hats and hoodies and everything. And I'm just like, these wrestlers, they are better than me. They are better than me to be in that ring wrestling with pretty much just trunks on and in this cold. So kudos to them for doing that. However, we do have a pretty good show. There were some things here that I didn't care for. But we started off with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is back going against Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne couldn't come out there alone. We obviously had the patriarchy out there as well. Kip, Mama Wayne looking so good, our stepdaddy looking good, who were making it difficult for Samoa Joe, obviously getting involved in this match, making it a little bit difficult for Samoa Joe, but Joe got this, obviously, and he ends up beating Nick Wayne. Now, before the end of the match, we do have Hook and Shibata who comes out to even things up, and they end up getting into a little bit of a fight with the patriarchy as well, which I didn't care for, because it's just like, once again, we are just throwing in Shibata and Samoa Joe to be babysitters of Hook, and I am just like, I don't understand why we need to continue this now that Hook has seeming to, you know what, I don't know what we're doing with Hook, but Samoa Joe has just gotten back, and then we have Shibata, who is going to be in the main event against Takeshita, which is a whole different level that Hook don't know nothing about. So why do we have Shibata babysitting for Hook? I have no clue. However, Samoa Joe, still a great match back. Nick Wayne did great. However, we already know that this is for Samoa Joe. I don't know what's going to happen with Joe moving forward, but I would love to see him at some point going for the world title again. I think that he is very interesting as a wrestler, and he has a personality that I really, really like. I feel like he didn't get the biggest opportunity when he had the world title. I don't feel like we got a chance to see what Samoa Joe could have done as a champion. So it would be cool to see that title on him again. Very interested to see at what point is he going to get his hands on Chris Jericho? Because remember, when he was out of action, it was because Chris Jericho and the whole learning tree had ended up putting him on a forklift and putting him through a paper-thin wall, and that put him out for several months, and here he is back. So I can't wait to see what he does to Chris Jericho at some point. After this, we have a champion versus champion match. Okada going against Commander. Well, while the match was good, I will say this. Commander holding a Ring of Honor title, I guess, doesn't hold any weight within AEW at all. And I feel like with him especially being a more on the newer side of a champion in comparison to them two, it would be great to see Commander in matches where he can show himself as a champion and not lose, because he is also holding a title regardless of what promotion it's from. He's holding a title, and I would prefer seeing him in the ring with people that could be going for that title that he has, or he could be having those proving grounds matches where, you know, he's in a match with someone and they have to prove themselves to go for that title at a later date. I wish they would do something like that. And because whenever Commander is on TV and ring outside of Ring of Honor, he's losing, but he's a champion. And it's just like, how are we going to keep doing this and then have him keep winning on fucking Ring of Honor? Something about that is flip-floppy to me, so I don't care for that. So we already knew that Okada was going to end up taking the win. I like how before the match start, Okada keeps going to shake Commander's hand, and Commander's like, nah, bitch, I don't want to shake your hand. And then after the match, Okada obviously takes the win and goes to shake Commander's hand. Commander's thinking about it, and he shakes his hand, and then Okada beats his ass for not shaking his hand when he offered it the very first time, which I actually really did like. Now, after this, we got drama in the parking lot. Powerhouse Hobbs is fighting with Big Bill. Big Bill was fighting with a big-ass book bag on his back for quite some time. It took me back to high school for a moment, because kids, sometimes when they get into fights, they're just like, fuck it, I got my book bag on, I don't even take this off, I'll fight you with my book bag on. And that's what they were doing. They were fighting in the parking lot. and he was getting into it with Hobbs. Now there was like this structure outside, like a tent or something, and that was in the background. It's noticeable or whatever, but it's not a focus. And that entire time, the useless security guards were standing there waiting for their cue so that they can go and stop Hobbs and Big Bill. And I was just like, do they not realize that we see this shit? Like, y'all shouldn't be seen or nothing. Like, how do y'all just come waiting for your cue to do something? Whatever. I guess maybe I'm paying attention a little bit too much. But it was really, really interesting to see these two go at it. Two young guys who I feel have gotten lost in the shuffle several times, and we're getting into something with them. The security guards keep them away from each other, but they still got some more beef coming on later on towards the end of the show. After this, they wasted our time. They wasted TV time with the pizza people from TikTok, who's always screaming out "boom." The Undisputed Kingdom end up interrupting them, and then here comes Adam Cole, who does the boom thing with them, because apparently that's the catchphrase for everybody, which is boom. Lame as fuck. You see this? L for losers. That's what they are. Fucking losers. Tony Khan, these people got nothing to do with wrestling. We don't care about that. You wanna get the TikTok people to watch AEW? Use somebody else. Somebody else. Not these people. I don't care. We have Adam Cole teaming up with Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly finally came to his senses. Lord have mercy. Versus Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic, and Angela Parker, who is back from paternity leave. Congratulations on the baby. We do have in the audience, we have STP watching. After that foolishness from Ring of Honor this week, they're watching the match. And not necessarily threatening to get involved in the match, but I was just like, okay, their presence is being felt, and that's okay with me. They're getting a little bit of TV time. We'll take it. The match, not so bad. I didn't necessarily care for this, to be honest with you. I don't know where they're going with things. In my opinion, I think I'm a little bit more focused on why isn't Daniel Garcia getting into it with somebody in terms of this TNT title. I'm not a fan of people holding singles titles and doing everything but singles matches. Like, why do we need any of this? I have no clue. I don't mind it here and there, but it just seems like Danny is disputing more with just groups, and it's just like, why? In my opinion, if it was me, y'all got that little thing y'all got going on, I would probably do Danny probably doing a 4-way with the Undisputed Kingdom for the TNT title. So the match goes on, and there is some tension between the Kingdom. I'm guessing they obviously all want their hands at the TNT title, so hopefully we get into that at some point. But Danny's team, they got a lot of work to do because they didn't even take the win, which is what I was thinking, because Danny is the champion in that situation. But however, Adam Cole ended up taking the win. Adam Cole looked to be a little bit more comfortable in the ring in this match in comparison to some of the other matches that we've seen him do. I feel like you can see, okay, that leg is all right, that ankle's all right. So he didn't do so bad. Now, after the match, all them shaking hands, one by one, shaking hands or whatever. I'm just like, what the hell is this? This ain't Ring of Honor. We don't need to be shaking no damn hands. And meanwhile, we have STP who are still out in the crowd, and they're watching. And, everyone in the ring is just like, bitch, we see y'all. We see y'all. Whatever situation is. STP, I'm not necessarily feeling how they're being booked. They're getting TV time. I appreciate that. But I would love to see these guys come out on top wherever they're going with this story. Now, after this, Max Caster back there talking about, oh, he's the best wrestler alive. I didn't expect for my mentor and my best friend to leave me and all that stuff, whatever. And then he goes on to say that he's going to have a series of challenges for people to come challenge him in the ring or whatnot. To be honest, I'm just like, whatever. I do feel like one of those people, if anything, may be Anthony Bowens. If anything, if they made this story to be bigger than what it is right now, it would be cool to see Anthony and Max at a pay-per-view going one-on-one. It should be that. Like, when tag teams break up, it should be a big deal. And I don't think people really care too much about it. But I think there's still a little bit of time to make it a big deal so that they can feature these two having a match at an upcoming pay-per-view. After this, for like 2 seconds, because if you blinked or if you got up to go get you a water or something, you would have missed that they typed in the word hologram on the screen. So hologram for the kids will be back at some point. After this, Top Flight back there, Layla Gray looking so yummy. Long story short, they're upset about, Leo, Action, and Andretti interrupting in their last match. Now, what was interesting though was that Darius is upset at Dante, saying, Dante, this is because of your friend Action Andretti, not Action Andretti, Leo Rush, because, get this, when Dante got hurt, Darius and Action, they got together and they did really well. Then here comes Dante, who got back from injury, and they were doing really well as a trio. For whatever reason, Tony Khan just didn't feel like putting titles on them anyway. And at some point, Leo Rush ended up coming in that picture because Dante let him in when everyone else kind of felt a little reserved about, Leo Rush getting in that group. So he's pretty much putting his finger at Dante saying, bitch, it's your fault that all this happened because we didn't really want Leo Rush up in here, whatever the situation is. But now here's Darius, who is saying that he wants to get his hands on Leo Rush. And I was just like, a singles match for Darius. And I will say this, it's been, I want to say, over a year since I've seen Darius Martin doing singles action. And I was not impressed. Not impressed. It was a few matches that he had, and that was really what led up to him tagging with Action Andretti, because I feel like maybe just like how the audience is seeing it, but the people in the back was just like, oh no, he's not doing that well by himself. Maybe we should get him a partner. And then that's when Action Andretti became partners with him. So we'll see what ends up happening now after all this time has passed, and see if Darius can do well in a singles match against someone like Leo Rush. I am very interested to see how that will go. Now, after this, Mariah May, Tony Storm in the ring. Tony Schiavone over there being useless as usual. Like, well, why do we need him? I don't know. Obviously, Tony is the rookie, and she wants to be friends with Mariah. She wants to wrestle with Mariah. She's never even met her before, blah, 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 blah. And Mariah was just like, nobody in here give a damn about you. We don't care about you. She was talking to her like a dog, okay? And Tony Storm was just standing there, and she looked like she was about to start burst out crying. And then instead of, crying about it or hitting Mariah or whatever, she takes the microphone and she goes, I'm your biggest fan. I really like you, and gives her a hug and all that. I'm like, girl, why are you hugging her? Why are you hugging her? Mariah obviously not happy about this and gets her hands on Tony Storm, and she is beating up on Tony. She even takes the title and she's whooping Tony with the title as well. And with that leather jacket that Tony's wearing, Tony didn't feel nothing. She didn't feel anything. And then Schiavone kind of stepping in, and then Mariah almost put her hands on Schiavone, when really, if it was me, I would have put my hands on Schiavone. Like, this guy is annoying to me. But then the use of security guards and the referee, they come out and they're trying to stop this whole thing from happening. They split them up. Mariah, she's going towards the stage, and then Tony Storm, she's laying on the mat. And then she picks up the microphone, and then you can hear the timeless Tony Storm voice, and she's like, oh, you think I forgot? You think I forgot about you, about what we had? She's like, this dance isn't over, with her timeless Tony Storm accent. And everybody started just cheering. Everybody's just happy about it. And I was like, my girl is back. Like, the way it happened, I'm not doing it justice. But to hear the voice is, when you hear it, you just know she's back as Timeless Tony Storm. And it just gave me goosebumps. And I was just like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool. And then she takes off the clothes that she was wearing, the hat and everything, and the pants, the jacket, the shirt, and then she have her Timeless Tony Storm look under the clothes, and she just looks so fucking beautiful. Oh my God, she took it all off, and everybody is going crazy. Mariah is looking like, I fucking regret what I just did, and it was so freaking amazing. So if you didn't see this, I definitely recommend going back to look at this. It was cool. After this, y'all know, some of y'all probably don't know, but Renee got her little interview show that she does on Tuesday on YouTube. And she's always interviewing wrestlers or whatever. And the one that's coming up is the one with Moxley and them. They look, I don't know where the hell they are, to be honest with you. There's no windows, nothing. It's dark as hell. Moxley doing all this yap. And Renee's just standing there like she don't even notice, man. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know. But I'm going to watch it because I feel like this is really important. Because the story hasn't grabbed me Well, it's grabbed me, but then it lost me, and I'm still trying to stay on board. A lot of people feel the same way too, so I think that this would be very interesting interview to watch. These interviews are like usually like 20 minutes or whatever, so hopefully they use that time well to really show what the hell the Death Riders is trying to do up in here in AEW, because I have no clue what's happening here. After this, we do have the Hounds of Hell, which is Buddy Matthews and Brody King. Julia Hart coming out there looking so good as well. They are going against the Gates of Agony. I want to say, damn, I might be a little too critical. I felt there was hiccups here. There was some big hiccups here, and at times the chemistry wasn't what I hoped for, and I was looking for an excuse of like maybe it was too cold or something. I don't know. Everybody looks great, and I think it started off great, but towards the middle, something with the chemistry went off for me. There's even this part where Toa Leona, who was going for a powerbomb on Brody. I don't know whose idea was this. But, you know, Toa, he is strong, but he's also lost weight, so maybe not as strong as he has been in the past. And he just could not go for that power bomb. Like, he just could not hold him up. And, you know, from there was some hiccups, and I was just like, yeah, y'all losing me a little bit, but whatever. We already knew that they were going to end up taking the win. The Hounds of Hell, they took the win, which I'm cool with, because we got to build up Buddy to do something. For the Australia show in a few weeks. Now, after this, when we come back from the commercial break, we do have Buddy, Brody, and Julia. They back there, and while they're talking about their fans or whatever, talking about when our fans bark, we bark back. Whatever the hell they said. And then here comes Okada laughing from wherever the fuck he coming from. He's laughing, right? And then he goes on and to walk up to Buddy, and he said, "Buddy, you bark like a bitch." Oh my fucking God. When he said that, I was like, whoa, what the hell? Now, Buddy obviously is not happy about it, and pretty much threatening Okada to get his hands on him and that they should fight. But Okada doesn't seem to want this, so he's going, oh, well, then that makes you the bitch. And I was just like, oh, those are fighting words. We should be fighting at this point. So they don't make anything official, but we already see where they're going with this. And maybe at the not pay-per-view, the little TV special they got going on in Australia, that we will have these two going at it for the Continental title. If that's the case, I'm cool with it, because honestly, something about this title ain't giving me what I'm wanting. So to see this happen, even though it's like 3 more weeks, we can get a little something from Buddy and Okada. So we'll see where that ends up going. The match, though, I did not care for. This House of Black or Hounds of Hell versus Gates of Agony. I didn't care for it like I thought I would. But go ahead and watch it. After this, the Pizza People back again with Harley Cameron. And I'm just like, I know y'all not doing my girl like this. With these losers, I am over it. Now, Deonna Purrazzo, Taya Valkyrie, they end up their little segment. They end up interrupting, and I'm just like, good, because I don't want to see this shit. But then we still get to hear them saying boom and all this stuff. I don't want to hear none of that shit. This is wrestling. Get these people off my fucking TV. Now, we do have a 4-way match to see who's going to win to go against CEO next week on Dynamite. What the hell? Yuka Sakazaki versus Queen Aminata versus Deonna Purrazzo, Taya Valkyrie out there trying to help her girl win versus Serena Deeb. The match was not bad. When things got weird to me was how Serena and Queen Aminata start getting into it and decide to leave the ring and fight to the back. It was like, for me, I was just like, it felt forced to me. It didn't feel like, who the fuck was just going to want to leave this match to get their hands on a title to just leave to the back? Something about it just felt so off, just so it could be Yuka and Deonna. So at this point, I'm just like, all right, Deonna, we got this. Taya out there, she's going to help. Oh no. Here comes Harley Cameron, who comes out to help Yuka. At first, it doesn't help, and then Harley gets hurt, and then it helps at that point, and then Yuka wins. Let me tell you why I'm not cool with it. Yuka's been gone since September, y'all. She been gone since September, and it's just like, all right, so we're just gonna throw her in here to go straight for CEO. While they spent quite some time building up Diana with this group, and nothing, not a damn thing has come from it so far for months. The entire time that Yuka's been gone, they've been building up this vendetta thing, and not a damn thing has come from it, which is wild to me. And I will say this. For those of you who know Sumi from New Japan, who had just she was in Ring of Honor at some point. She had the Ring of Honor title. She's just retired, and she's a huge Yuka fan. And like a week ago, she was very vocal on Twitter about how she wants to see Yuka on damn TV. And here we are, Yuka's on TV and she's winning a match to go against CEO. I was just like, oh, very convenient. Absolutely convenient. I'm when it comes to the ladies, we gotta just do better. We just gotta do better. After this, Thunder Rosa back there, talking about her time in Daily's place. Penelope back there too. Long story short, they're gonna have a match with each other. The way that whole thing came about felt very forced. Like, we don't, like, hurry up and get these girls in and out so we can move on. Right after this though, Big Bill and Hobbs, they got into it again. This time in the ring, then on the stage. Hobbs is bleeding all over the place. And they're fighting on the stage, and even where the fans were at, to go over there by commentary and everything. It was absolutely crazy. And Big Bill, he has brick in his book bag. He has handcuffs and a knee brace and everything. And I'm just like, look, whatever y'all into, that's what y'all into, okay? This doesn't seem like a regular Saturday night for some of y'all. But they couldn't get that handcuff to open for whatever reason. It was just locked. He couldn't get it. He tried and tried, and at some point he was just like, fuck it, and he ends up getting rid of the handcuff, and he just keeps beating up on Hobbs. Now Hobbs ends up getting his ass up and fighting back at some point, and then he said, "I'm gonna take you to hell," and he grabs Big Bill and puts him through a table from them jumping down from the stage. It was so cool. And I'm looking at this, I'm just like, yes. This is not the typical people that you're always seeing on top. Hobbs need opportunities. Big Bill need opportunities. And I was really glad to see that these two guys get an opportunity to be able to get some TV time twice tonight. And I appreciate that. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Now, after this, Uncle Don, they're showing this mansion from God knows where. The whole Don Callis family is over there. Uncle Don gets over there and he's talking about how we gotta do more, we gotta do better, because Kenny Omega, he's what the hell he called him? He's like, he's bloodthirsty monster, whatever the hell he said. And he's like, we gotta come harder at him. Brian Cage was like, man, we ain't worried. Look at us. We don't have no problem taking care of Kenny Omega and William. But then they go on to, you seen them, they're all sitting at the table and they all got a plate in front of them. And I didn't even realize this, that the whole time that they're talking, that there's 5 of them. Obviously, Lance, Brian, Takeshita with them glasses was so cute. And Kyle Fletcher and Uncle Don. So 5 of them were at the table. I never even realized that there were 6 plates at the damn table. And then here's Uncle Don pretty much teasing that there's going to be another member with that 6th plate on the damn table. I am just like, holy shit, who the fuck would that be? Now look, I see a lot of people saying Trent Beretta, and you know what, Deacon Beretta, we miss you and everything. I hope you're all right. I'll be cool if it's him. I'll be cool with it. However, there's another thing we got to keep in mind here, is that it would be better fit if it was somebody who has had run-ins with Kenny Omega in the past, to pick somebody that would definitely affect Kenny, because this whole thing was about how Kenny isn't what he used to be. This is a different type of Kenny Omega that we going against right now. And I'm just like, okay, you're making sense when you say that. However, whoever this person got to be, no shade to Trent Beretta, it would be interesting if it was somebody who's had a past with Kenny Omega. And I've already seen people saying Gabe Kidd from New Japan. That would be insane if they got him to be in the story. Main event and best match of the night for the International Championship, Takeshita versus the wrestler Shibata. Oh man, this was so good. And when I tell you this was so good, the crazy thing is I know these two wrestlers. I watched them very closely. As great as this match was, they didn't scratch the surface with what they would have done to each other. Because by the time that match came on, it was literally 10 minutes or so before the end of the damn show. And I'm just like, dang, well, hopefully they gave us another 5-10 minutes of overtime money. And they only went like 2 minutes after the top of the hour. So the match was like 10 minutes or so. And they really gave a really great match. And the chemistry was great. Their styles really complement each other. I mean, this is Shibata we talk about. This is the catch that we're talking about. However, I don't think anybody believed that the title was going anywhere. And this is what upsetted me about Ring of Honor the other night, because they sacrificed Shane Taylor for Shibata to win to go against Takeshita, which actually wasn't even needed. To be honest, people would have taken the match for what it was without you having to sacrifice any other wrestlers. And they killed it. They did a really, really great job. Even Uncle Don came out there because he's just like, man, he just looked worried and nervous for Takeshita while he was on commentary. Oh, I forgot to mention, JR was on commentary as well. He's typically at the pay-per-views, normally doing the main events, but this is the first time in quite some time that I've heard JR being on either a Collision or a Dynamite, so I was happy to hear JR's voice again. Now, Takeshita obviously ends up retaining, but by the time the match is over, I'm just like, these two, they gave y'all nothing. Everybody in here act like they just saw God, but they gave y'all nothing. I know what these two are capable of doing. If we run this back, Tony Khan, which we should, at a pay-per-view, giving us pay-per-view time with these two, holy shit, they would tear that shit up. And I know it, absolutely know it. But it was still a really great match. And it seemed like they were rushing to end the damn thing. Like, oh shit, we 2 minutes behind here. We got to get the hell up out of TV. And I kind of didn't like that, but whatever. The show's over. And while there were things that I liked, there were certain things I was just like, what the fuck? The show, not bad. Go ahead and check it out if you didn't watch it. I appreciate everyone who watched during the watch along with me. I figured there'll probably be like 2 people over there because everybody watching Saturday Night Main Event. I hope that was a great show too. I'll watch that later. We're at a time where wrestling is thriving. You can watch wrestling pretty much every day of the damn week. And it's been a long time since it's felt like that. And I'm just happy to be able to see everyone is enjoying wrestling regardless of what company it's coming from. So whatever you guys choose to watch, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you want to go watch Collision, go ahead and check it out. It's on Max. Go ahead and get a little subscription so you can go ahead and watch tonight's episode and some of the other episodes from this year, last year, and then 2019. They're slowly bringing in all the episodes and pay-per-views. A lot of great wrestling content to watch. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Dynamite. Bye.